do your problem. But and again, one thing that I talked about is how to graph reply them. People are asking how to graph reply them. Well, I'm going to graph one of the questions. I'm not sure what else I've missed, but again, I can't get to every single question, but I am going to cover this one because it's very similar to what I covered last live stream. Was like, you know, how to graph this. Now, again, you could use a table of values. You could find the axis symmetry like I did in the original problem at the beginning of the live stream. But that's not going to be a very nice number, right? Opposite of B, 7 divided by 2. So it's going to be like 3.5 or 7 halves. It's just not going to be a nice, or 2 times A, yeah. So it's just not going to be a very nice axis symmetry, and then you could plug that in. You could also complete the square to put it in vertex form, but again, you're going to be dealing with fractions. So majority of students, that's just not going to be an ideal way to graph this, and at least depending on it. I mean, obviously, if you need to graph it and you need to find solution points, then you're just going to have to get used to fractions and work your way through it. But the reason why I took on this problem is because I wouldn't use either of those solutions. And I've been teaching those methods a lot lately. So it seems a lot of students are having, obviously, trouble with them for good reason. They are difficult, right? It's difficult to kind of get used to them. But majority of the time when we need to graph something, you know, if we needed to graph like something in detail, we'd use a graphing calculator. But a lot of times we just really need to see like the general shape of the graph and kind of typically either see like the intercepts or the vertex. And again, the vertex is going to be dealing with fractions, so it's not bad. You should know how to do it. But if I just need to like graph this, what I would do is I'd find the x and the y intercepts. So again, remember the x-intercept is when y is equal to 0. So I would just set this equation equal to 0 and see if I could solve it. Now, again, if I needed to like whip out the quadratic formula, I probably wouldn't use this method because that's not going to really give me some solutions that are very beneficial. It could actually, not too bad, because it could tell you if it's complex or not. You know, and also sometimes it would, but if it's going to be irrational, you know, that's not really going to help you too bad. But in this case, I recognized, or I just kind of did my math in my head and I say, oh, here's my two x-intercepts. So x-intercepts is x equals 5 and x equals 2. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. So those are my two x-intercepts. If I wanted to find my y-intercept, I'm just going to plug x equals 0. If you remember in my previous problem that I did, it's basically just going to be the constant, which is 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now I don't know the vertex because again, as I told you, that would be a fraction. That is a little bit more difficult to be able to do, which I don't have time for because I'm already now over 45 minutes, but that's okay. But again, I know that my A is positive, so therefore my parabola is going to be opening up. So it's going to look something like that. And again, our one unknown is going to be the vertex. But again, you could practice